Welcome to another session from LearnHowToReason.com. My name's Matt, and in this video we're going to go over the compressor limiter section in the virtual SSL mixer that comes in Reason. And have you ever thought about how many compressors come with Reason? Right stock, right in the program? The last I counted, there's 6 of them. And as of today, in the propeller head shop, there's, I believe, 7 or 8 compressors that you can buy. And the point I'm trying to make here is, if there was any topic of an effect that, or an effect that was talked about, debated about, that there's so many and so many people are passionate about, it's compressors and limiters. Quite complex they can be, but if you break it down and you understand how they work, they are all about the same. Just a couple have some different features and different ways of compressing and limiting. So let's take all the compressors that are out there and throw them to the wayside and concentrate on the compressor limiter that comes with in the mixer. So let's take a look at this. A compressor is a level controller, automated level control, and it's opposite of a gate. So what a compressor does is when you set a threshold with a compressor, you're setting the limit, the dB limit that audio can go to before the compressor will turn it down by the amount that you have the ratio set at. So if somebody's singing or something and they go really loud, as they go really loud, it turns it down, and then it comes back to the threshold setting. It's an automated level controller. That's what it is. So let's take a look at the compressor limiter in the mixer here. And right at the top you have the on, and right below it you have the peak. The peak button, when on, turns the compressor into a limiter, and we'll go over that and I'll give you an example of it. So compressor limiter, here's your ratio. This sets the amount of gain reduction. All the way to the left means there is no gain reduction. That's kind of debatable, but for the most part, you basically have no gain reduction. To the right all the way, you have infinite gain reduction. So this is how much you want to turn down the level, how much you're going to take this level right here. Are you going to squash it down, or are you just going to put it down just a smidge? And that, of course, is going to be determined, by the actual wave file and exactly how you want to affect it. Next, you have your threshold. This is where you set when the compressor turns on. It's simply that. When do you want the compressor to start compressing? And then you have your release. The release is when do you want the compressor to stop compressing after the dB has dropped below the threshold setting. So do you want the compressor to hold on for 100 milliseconds and then totally stop? Basically the compressor's not working anymore. Or do you want the compressor to hold on for 1,000 milliseconds? And you can choose in between. That's what the release does. Below you have your fast attack setting. And this compressor is very simple. It has a lot of automated it's a lot of things are like automated, and especially attack. And so when it's off, you just have a smoother attack time. When you turn this on, you're going to have a fast attack time. And, if you want to know the numbers, it's 3 milliseconds of attack for 20 dB, every 20 dB. Well, the best way to use this is say, hey, I've got some snares or kicks that I want to compress, and they have a fast attack time. Anything with a fast attack time where the sound is on you immediately, you use the fast attack. It's that simple, really. And right here you have your LEDs for the compressor on this side. On this side, it's the gate. And the way to look at these is you'll see you have like 3, and then 3 that are like yellow greenish, and then 2 that are red. What you can look at, there's 5 LEDs here, and what you can look at, think of them as and I kind of wonder why they didn't put the numbers there, because they can help you. But you just think of them as this. The first one, starting from the bottom, the first one is 3 dB of reduction, and then 6, 10, 14, and 20 dB of reduction. That's what these represent. On, every compressor out there, that's usually what you'll see, and it's 3, 6, 10, 14, and 20 for a visual reference as you're looking at the LEDs. So, with a compressor, fundamentally, a compressor has 3 uses. One use is as a leveling effect. Number 2 use is a coloring effect, using the compressor as an effect like a chorus, a reverb. Well, you're going to use compression to, squash the sound, make the sound pump. And, I'm going to give you examples of every one of these. And third, as a limiter, a limiting effect. And for the most part, you would use limiting, when you have, you just want to take the signal and you want to compress it so it's not so different between, like on a drum set, the snare and the kick, and you have a real dynamic difference between the two. A limiter can come in handy there. That would be one example, and I'm going to show you that. So what else here? Okay, when with the peak, when you turn this on and it turns it into a limiter, what it has is it has an abrupt cutoff. And you can see here by this graph, and you always see this kinds of graphs when people are talking about compressors and limiters. I try and stay away from them. It kind of complicates things. But you can see this is a representative of it's going up, to a certain dB, and then it just cuts it off. Where with it off, it's a smoother ratio, or knee, I should say. And as it turns the compression on, but it's smoother. So, the knee is smoother. That's what that means. I hope it helps you out. It's pretty easy to understand, though. So let's get in here, and first let's look at how to use this compressor as a leveling effect. And let's go here. I have a little vocal passage here, and we're gonna just loop this and see how we can use this, to control the level. Babe, won't you take me to the place yours? So you can see, we're peaking up around 4 here, and it's going between 10 and 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the compressor on, and we're going to dial in a ratio and a threshold and a release, and get this leveled out.
Won't you take me to the place yours? Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
So all I did was I turned the compressor on. I got a ratio of 6 to 1, and I backed the threshold to about minus, it's giving me about minus 6 dB, because watch the LEDs.
Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
And one thing that you have to understand, if you just want to level out, use the compressor as a leveler, then you're not going to want the compressor to be affecting the sound. So you want to keep it right around just 3 to 6 dB of gain reduction. And so you can play with it and to see where you want it, and you can see visually on the LEDs what the level is, and you can see here with the LEDs what your gain reduction is.
Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
See, if I put the threshold way over here, I'm going to get no reduction.
Babe, won't you take me to the place
I can bring it up.
yours?
So I've got 3 right there, just like that.
Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
My ratio,
Babe,
I'm going
won't
to
you
bring it up.
take me to the place yours? Babe, won't you take me to...
Okay, now one test that you can do is you can listen to it and turn it off and turn it on. I mean, the levels will be there, but you can tell how much you're compressing the sound or what effect it's having on it by doing this. So this way you can truly use the compressor as just a leveling effect, and good compressors will be transparent. That's the way they should work for just leveling. It's one of the uses. A good compressor will be transparent.
the place
Off,
yours?
on.
Babe, won't you take me to the place
We'll reduce it a little more.
yours? Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
Now turn it off.
Babe, won't you take me to the
on.
place yours?
Off.
Babe, won't you take me to the place yours?
You see how you can turn it on and off, and you have very little effect from the compressor making the track sound different, but it's doing its job as being a leveler. And it's basically that simple. I really didn't even have to touch the release there. I got the track leveled out, and it sounds okay. And it's then it gives you a better you'll be able to level out your different instruments, your different tracks, more precise, because you have each track under control that using the compressor. Okay, so let's now move to using the effect, the compressor as an effect to color the sound. We got a piano here. Let's go right here. Okay, we should be good. And we get this piano here. Okay. What I want to do is use the compressor to give this piano just a smidge of character, just a little different sound, and compress it a little. So let's take a listen. Turn it on. Do you hear that? Turn it off. Turn it on. It just makes, just by pumping up the ratio, you know, bringing the release way down and tweaking the threshold a little here, I've added some character to the piano track. And in the total mix, it really, it's a subtle one, but it does make quite a difference. I mean, I could really change it if I wanted to. You know? And you can see how much I'm compressing it. I could back it off. Turn it off. It's a subtle effect, but it can make a huge dynamic change in the sound of the piano within the mix. So that's one way to use a compressor to add color or character to an instrument or maybe a voice or anything on a track. Okay, so now let's move to limiting. Now what I'm going to do here is use this drum track here. Let's go and set the drum track. How about right here? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to use, I'm going to turn the peak on here, peak limiting, and I'm going to have the fast attack on. And let's hone in right here and concentrate here on the snare hit and the kick hit. See where my mouse is? That's right about where the snare is. And look how high the kick pushes up the fader, the LEDs. Probably another 4 to 6 dB between the snare hit and the kick hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the compressor. And now, remember it was right here, the snare hit? Now look where the kick is. It's maybe like 2 dB difference. So I'm limiting the whole sound. And I've squashed the difference between the kick and the snare. So it's not such a difference in dB. And you can see how much I'm compressing it. But I'm using the limiter. And look at the difference. Turn it on. And it doesn't make a drastic sound. I'm not affecting the sound. You know, I'm not doing crazy things like, I'm not affecting the sound like I did with the piano. Yeah, we're almost at 0 there with the kick every time. Turn it on. And we limit. This is a good example of using a limiter on the channels for your kicks. And limiting is when you have anything that's just has a real huge dynamic change and you can't get it tamed with the compressor, use the limiter and then dial it in. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really that simple. The compressor control the leveling, and you really can't hear the difference when you turn the compressor on or off. Use the compressor as an effect, and you can really hear the difference when you turn it on or off, or you use it as a limiter. And you can level stuff out that is you can't really get a control with the compressor. And hopefully you don't hear a big difference when you turn it on or off, because like I say, a compressor, good compressors are transparent, And the compressors here in the virtual SSL are amazing. They really did a great job with it. And so I hope that this video helps you out, and we'll be working on the key switch here in the next video of the dynamics section. And like always, we have videos coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I hope they help you out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. You take care.
Take me, whoa, whoa. I know you cherish, whoa. Take me, whoa, whoa. Babe, won't you take me to the place yours? I know you cherish, whoa, babe, and you should, the love that's yours. Your love, it hit me hard, and now I wanna show you mine, girl. I know there's a love